I was put in a situation where I was watching said YouTubers or streamers, and being a dumb kid, you're a kid. You don't know any better. And specifically back then, you really didn't know better because this hadn't happened yet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, CSGO gambling. Now, CSGO gambling was once on the very top of Twitch and YouTube. Every single content creator, every single pro player, every single pro team had some sort of sponsor or made videos on the daily on certain websites. Very similar to how very top tier streamers nowadays with over 100,000 plus viewers are streaming slots that recently got shut down and of course very regulated. And for the most part nowadays, CSGO gambling is very irrelevant or very not much talked about. Yeah, sure, there are some shady sites here and there, but for the most part, it's completely gone off the grid. And while in 2015 and 2016, practically every YouTuber, streamer, and pro player was plugging, gambling, or sponsored by any single one of these gambling websites to be exact. And it was a very unregulated market, unlike now. More shady stuff like FaZe Clan owning the website CSGO WILD was not disclosing that they did, which nowadays that's pretty much a cancel culture thing right there, and is also a death sentence on social media, alongside, of course, jail time. And for the websites that did exist back in the day, some of the top dogs were, of course, CSGO WILD, CSGO Shuffle, and of course, CSGO Lotto. Practically every single one of these had a huge, big problem alongside them. The owners did not disclose that they owned the website, and of course the odds are rigged, much like every other online and regular casino in real life. You go in, the house is always going to win. And while the main website I want to focus on in today's video is of course CSGO WILD, on how FaZe Clan owning them, and me being a stupid young teenager who watched their videos, costed me thousands of my own hard-earned dollars that I will of course never get back. Also giving you guys a reminder, maybe some of my younger viewers who are out there, to never get into this type of stuff either. The house always wins, you're never going to win, and it's a very addictive hobby, if that's what you want to call it. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button and of course subscribe for weekly CSGO content. And here's a quick word from our video sponsor, Skins Monkey. Now, today's video sponsor is of course Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is currently the easiest and also fastest way you can buy, but most importantly, trade your CSGO skins. All you have to do is make sure you have your trade link, and on your first trade, if you have a leftover balance, it goes towards your current balance that can be used the next time you end up trading skins. It has 3 ways you can inspect, but most importantly has a very in-depth inspect feature that you can see corners on a karambit, for an example, that you can't really see otherwise unless you have the item in game. If you end up topping up your balance, make sure to use promo code MANDO to get up to a 35% deposit bonus and a free $5 on the first trade. Now let's rewind it all the way back to 2015 and specifically that era of CSGO. At this point in time, NA still sucked. You had FaZe Clan, which was semi-NA, you had C9, you had Opta Gaming, they were all kind of crap. EU, like NIP and Fnatic, were still dominating. And of course, with the up-and-coming Brazilian team, LG, which went on to win the Columbus Major back in 2015, I myself being from NA, CS content from that era and specific NA YouTubers and Twitch streamers was some of the best content for CS and just content in general I have ever watched in my entire life. Now, most likely that was just nostalgia of that moment in time in my life, but I still look back on that at a very happy moment. And on top of that, I was also a 15-year-old kid who played Call of Duty and of course watched FaZe Clan. And this is my story as a FaZe Clan viewer who eventually got addicted to CSGO gambling. At this point in time, CSGO gambling wasn't really new to me. With every single streamer and every single YouTuber plugging it in their videos, I knew what it was, but I always knew to kind of stay away from that stuff. All I really cared about at the time was CSGO Lounge with trading, of course, betting on a few matches here and there. If you want to call that gambling, you can. But before I know it, I see FaZe Clan, a once org that I really liked. A lot of the members who made decent videos made a few videos shouting out and promoting their own website, which we didn't know at the time was CSGO WILD. And these 2 to 3 videos that they made, probably a lot more than this with some other websites as well, they were making thousands of dollars in singular videos that of course weren't edited. It was just an entire thing.
That's 35.
35K.
35K, yeah.
On Wild. Please.
Easy peasy 35K, dude.
And little did I know, and little did I find out later on, with many people like Richard Lewis, TDM Jesus, and many other esports analysts and journalists came out and said they rigged the websites for their own favor for specific videos. And before I knew that, this is where I followed through with my CSGO gambling addiction on CSGO WILD. At first, the website wasn't anything huge. It was pretty small. It was pretty much just a coin flip site, so you had CT&T as a coin. I remember specifically, I was too stupid to realize this, but FaZe back in the day, they didn't even know the game very much. They didn't know it was CT&T. They called it yellow versus blue, which was just absolutely insane to me now that I think back on it.
It's time to help you sell some skins
Let's
and
do it.
make
Let's do
some
it,
money
little
off
guy.
this. Let's get it, dude.
You ready?
I'm
Do
ready.
it.
All right.
I go
What do
here,
you-
right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
how much do you want to start with? What do you?
100. Let's start with
$100. All right.
100
Not
bucks.
feeling T or CT? What
Gold.
do you feel? Huh?
Gold. All right, guys. I put $100 on the gold coin. All right.
But that's what I was doing. I was following them and copying them because I was a 15-year-old idiot at the time who didn't really have any experience in this. Let alone this at the entire time was brand new. Most people in 2015 and 2016 thought CSGO was going to kind of come and go like every other AAA game that was coming out at the time. You had Call of Duty's release on a yearly basis. You had games like No Man's Sky come out and completely fall off, and then a new game comes out 6 months later and you just forget about it. But CSGO obviously has been a lot more than that for a lot of people, considering it's still around today. And with my first bet, I remember I always used to go on T-side, and I had my very first knife that I bought and owned with my hard-earned cash. And especially at 15 years old, a bayonet case hardened and minimal wear one was about $200 or $300 in the Steam market, which at the time was a lot of money. And considering it was in 2015, Steam was really one of the only websites you could buy skins off of, considering there wasn't really any at the time. Sure, there were OP skins, but most people didn't really know about that, and they didn't know if it was a scam because, you know, that's just how it was back then. So I remember I stayed up all night, I did a 50-50 coin flip, doubled my money, and I had a big win, so I kept going. I eventually cashed out with a bayonet marble fade, and over time I just kind of grew up a balance, got more money throughout the time, and of course this was a long time before the 7-day trade hold. And now, I'm midway through recording this right now, and I just think it's so crazy that that happened, but let alone, I was probably one of thousands of kids and teenagers and preteens, for an example, who were gambling on this website because they plugged it. And I don't want to just call out FaZe Clan either. There are many other YouTubers and streamers who were also promoting this stuff without any care in the world. You know, part of it's not really to blame, because at the time, they didn't really know what this was really turning into. At least that's what I think for the most part. And this is also why nowadays, I specifically have been offered thousands more than I'm making on YouTube a month, which would definitely help my income and definitely help this make a really full-time job. I wouldn't have to work as hard if I promoted said gambling websites. But I think back to things like this, where I was put in a situation where I was watching said YouTubers or streamers, and being a dumb kid, you're a kid. You don't know any better. And specifically back then, you really didn't know better because this hadn't happened yet. And I'm just thinking, if I ever made a video like this and some kid lost thousands of dollars that he worked very hard for, like mowing lawns, shoveling driveways during the winter, going to work with his dad for construction on Saturdays like I did, I'd be lost and also be stuck in a gambling addiction as a 14 and 15-year-old. That's no fun. But back to the video. And of course, at this point in time, after the roulette update released and many other YouTubers are doing it as well as FaZe, I went from around $300 that I had just on the website, I remember, to around $2,500 to $3,000. And at that point, I had my dream inventory inside of CSGO. I had a Medusa, I had a Glock Fade, an M4A4 Poseidon, a Fire Serpent, because those skins really weren't worth much back then. And after, when I continued to gamble, of course, I saw more and more videos and me being influenced. And I continued to gamble after I had my dream inventory, and I eventually lost it all. And that really, really sucked. And then after that, I was still hooked on gambling at the age of 15, which is just nuts. And then I found out I was starting to put my own money into it through my bank account, starting to buy skins and OP skins, the Steam market, starting to learn things here and there. Was depositing skins, was continuing to lose. And overall, I probably put $1,000 of my own money into it, which was just kind of crazy to think about. Nowadays, $1,000 at 15 years old is like you won the fucking lottery. I worked my ass off for that $1,000. I probably worked for a whole year for that. Going to a job site, working construction with my dad on the weekends after I was done school. In between school, I had my own little landscaping business where I was making like $70 every 2 weeks. Nothing crazy, but I was racking in some dough. And of course, that's where it was going. And after that, when I lost my own hard-earned money, I eventually kind of realized and told myself I needed to stop. And that's what I did. I have never gambled since that day, really. And I don't really gamble in CS. It's just not really fun anymore. As I reflect on this today, this cost me a lot of hard-earned cash, especially at 15 years old, but also a lifelong lesson not to gamble and listen to these degenerates online. I was a 15-year-old kid at the time who had 14 and 15-year-old friends who didn't really know any better because nothing was regulated. No one said anything. Valve never came out and said anything because they were also making money during this. And to this day, the main reason why I started was because of people like FaZe Clan who influenced this website on me and thousands of other people exactly like me in my shoes, and I feel like I'm talking for those people in this video. So as of right now and as of today, obviously that was my fault, but if I didn't lose all that money and didn't have that happen to me, I'm not sure if I'd had the same opinion on things today. I'd love to think I would, but I'm really not sure. What if I never stopped gambling? What if that just got worse and worse and worse? But to this day, this is one of the main reasons and factors why I don't promote such shitty gambling websites and just gambling websites in general, mainly for CSGO. My demographic on YouTube shows that most people watching my videos are over the age of 22. But I feel like after writing this script and after speaking about this and realizing how much damage that did to me and many other people, especially kids my age at the time, where nowadays I'm in my 20s, I could never see myself uploading a gambling video to YouTube, knowing or thinking about 1 or 14 or 15-year-old kid or a teenager who doesn't really know any better, that would gamble thousands, get hooked, lose money, go into debt, start stealing stuff from their parents to sell, stealing their credit cards, because that does happen. And that's the dark side of things people don't understand. Alongside CSGO gambling is some of the shadiest shit I've ever seen in the world. One of my first videos on my channel was me talking about a CSGO gambling website and how for Valentine's Day in 2021, a case opening site, I'm pretty sure it was Keydrop, had all the Despicable Me characters holding CSGO knives. Now, I have a little cousin. At the time, he was a little younger. He definitely, if he played CSGO, would have definitely fallen into a trap like that and started gambling. So overall, what I've learned from this is 1, not to gamble. Don't listen to G-Gen rejects on YouTube, okay? Twitter, Twitch, doesn't matter. And also, FaZe Clan overall is a pretty scummy org. They've done a lot of people dirty, done a lot of people wrong. We all know for a fact that the only reason FaZe Clan has a CS organization and a CS team in the tier 1 condition they are in is because of CSGO WILD and some amongst the other shady shit they've done as well. And they took that money from people like me and kids like me and thousands of people who didn't know their left hand from their right ass cheek at the age of 14 and 15. So let me know what you guys think. That was really interesting for me to record. I'm kind of glad I got that off of my chest. I just wanted to share my overall experience with CSGO gambling, how scummy things really are. And if you guys want to see a video very soon on why I specifically turned down thousands of dollars worth of gambling sponsors in a month, let me know. I'd love to make that. Essentially, it was for the same reasons that I wouldn't want to gamble and promote it nowadays. And back then, what happened to me. I know Jeff made a video like this a little while ago. I watched it, it was pretty interesting. But this, of course, was in 2016, 2017 era of CS. It's a lot different, and gambling is also pretty big still. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. Peace out, guys.